Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be going over ways you can save money in Bloxburg. So these ways aren't ways to actively gain more money, however, it will make it so you have to work a lot less over time, and so that you will have more money than you normally would have had if you didn't do these things. So with that being said, let's get on with the video. So my first way to save money in Bloxburg is just by using cheaper items. Like for example, the glass windows, you could use the really big ones for like hundreds of dollars, or you could just use the one for like under $100 and resize it, and it will cost you less money and look pretty much the same. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about, like just replace expensive items with cheaper ones. So my next tip is to make budget builds. If you're someone who rebuilds houses off of YouTube, there are so many houses you can find for under a certain amount of money in Bloxburg. You don't need a lot of money to make a good house. And you can easily find a build on YouTube to recreate for yourself or just take inspiration off of that doesn't cost a ton of money. So my next tip is to paint items before you clone them in build mode. So when you're building and you paint an item, after you place it down, Bloxburg charges you like $25 or something to paint that item, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but it really adds up over time when you paint every single item in a room and in a house. So to save a lot of this money that would just go to painting items, when you put down an item, paint it and then clone it if you plan on using it again in your build, because then Bloxburg is just going to charge you for the cost of the item and not the additional cost of painting it, which can save you so much money in the long run. So my next tip relating to build mode again is to use undo instead of delete, because when you delete items in Bloxburg, it only gives you like 70% of your money back, I believe. However, when you undo, it gives you all of your money back. So literally just by clicking a different button, you save like 30% of the money that you would have lost. So my next tip is to be decisive with your builds. If you make a new house every week because you're indecisive with what house to make, which I kind of do that, but anyway, if you do that, that's going to cost you a lot of money in the long run, because you're going to have to delete all those houses to make new ones, and it just takes so much more money. I would just recommend really looking into houses that you can make before you actually make them, and finding a house that you really love and that you feel like you're actually going to keep for a decent amount of time, instead of just deleting after a week, because that can help you save a lot of money. Unless you like to build a lot, then absolutely build a lot. So my next tip is to use block bucks in place of money for certain items if you can. You can't do this a whole lot, but if you have a lot of block bucks, you can buy a car with block bucks instead of buying a car with money, and it can save you a lot of money, especially since you can't buy as much stuff with block bucks as you can with money. It can really go to good use if you buy like a car instead of buying a car with money, in my opinion. So my next tip is to not donate to strangers. Obviously, if you want to donate to strangers, you can, but I just wouldn't recommend it, because like the person begging you for money can literally work by themselves, and you just don't really know what they're gonna do with the money. They could have like $1 million and be pretending to be broke, so it's just like you really don't know what that person's gonna do with your money, and it just saves you money by not donating to random people. So my next tip is to not buy food in Bloxburg. For some reason, I bought like 8,000 plus bags of chips in Bloxburg, and it literally costed me $16,000, and I still have that in my fridge. So I would not recommend buying like food if you don't know if you're going to use it or not, and generally I wouldn't recommend buying food in Bloxburg at all, just because it saves you money. However, if you like to roleplay, obviously it makes sense why you would want to buy food, so I would recommend using leftovers if you have like any leftover food in your fridge or food from earlier. And if you do want to buy food, I'd recommend just buying cheaper foods instead of more expensive foods. So my next tip is to turn off automatic pay bills. So this just helps because Bloxburg won't automatically take money for bills from you. So if you're not using your house, you don't have to pay bills for no reason. And yeah, it's a really easy tip that can help you save money. My next tip, going off of my last one, is to only pay bills when you actually need to. If you're role-playing at someone else's house, there's not really a reason to pay your own bills at the moment, and just paying your bills less often can help you save money. So my second to last tip is to change your avatar in Roblox instead of Bloxburg's catalog. Because if you change your avatar in the Bloxburg catalog, it charges you Bloxburg money to change your avatar, and that can add up kind of fast. So I would just recommend using the Roblox catalog and the stuff you already have in your Roblox inventory to change your avatar, so that way you don't have to spend extra money in Bloxburg. And my last tip is to have a saving goal. It's so much easier to save money in Bloxburg if you have an idea of like what you're saving up for or how much money you're saving up for. So your saving goal can literally just be like $100,000 or something. It's just helpful so you can see your progress towards that goal, and it also helps motivate you to save money and even work. So with all of that being said, that is all I have to say for this video. Hopefully these tips help you out some. Let me know in the comments if you have any extra tips to add on to this. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.